Hey everybody. So a bunch of people ask me like, who the heck is a developer advocate? So I focus on Fabric, which is our product for mobile developers. I write sample code, write docs, I speak at events, I organize events. We have one actually on the 18th. So meetup.com, Fabric, please come. So what I want to talk about is how to use phone numbers as identity. Actually, could we get the screen working? No? Because that'd be great. Okay. So we have a product called Digits. Digits is part of Fabric, which is, like I said, which is our mobile developer toolkit. And Digits allows you to authenticate iOS, Android, and web users using their phone numbers. So on the web, it's a JavaScript library. On iOS and Android, it's native SDKs. So Digits is a kit or an SDK within Fabric. If you ever heard about maybe Crashlytics or Mopub, which InMobi uses, basically there's a bunch of kits. They're ad hoc. You can use different ones in different combinations using Fabric. Fabric was released alongside Digits just over a year ago in October. So we just had our conference last week where we sort of celebrated the 1-year anniversary. 4,000 apps have started using Digits as their primary use of authentication in their apps. We're seeing very good rates for conversions, 85%. Typically emails, you're looking at 65%. And social logins, Facebook, Twitter, are roughly about 75. So how does it work? We basically provide a UI that you drop into your app, iOS, Android, the web, that prompts the user for their phone number. The user enters the phone number, sends it to us. We get it. We send an SMS to that number with a 6-digit PIN, a confirmation code. The user enters the code, and then we get it. We check it's correct. And then we return a stable ID for that user. So stable means the user can change the phone number, but the ID will remain the same. So if you're using, if you have a database on the device or somewhere in the cloud, you can use that ID as your primary key. So if you're using Parse or AWS Cognito, you can sort of start your user model based on that ID. You can also get the phone number, obviously, and in the email. So if you want to request the email, there's going to be an access screen that pops up saying, hey, do you want to grant this app access to your email? If the user says yes, hopefully. You get the email in the object, and then at that point it's marked as unverified. And when the user gets the email, clicks the link, at that point the user that switch is flipped to verified. Some markets are notoriously bad for SMS delivery. SMS just don't arrive. We have a way that if the SMS doesn't arrive within a minute, the user can click a button, and then he'll get a call where that PIN is giving verbally. So that's live, I believe, in 11 countries, so US, India, Brazil, and a bunch of others, and we're going to roll this out worldwide later this year. So just a concrete example, this is Uplike. Uplike is kind of like Instagram, where you put pictures and people can uplike them and chat with you. They have 2.3 MAUs in about 100 countries. So they started with login by email and login with Facebook. What they've seen is that the first several thousand users have been using Facebook, love it. But there was a decline, a sharp decline of users who were sort of interested in the app, but they didn't want to share their personal information with an app that they sort of didn't know, well, are they doing anything with my information? Like, are these guys legit? What's Uplike? And then they had a lot of issues with login by email where, first of all, they're having duplicate accounts where people, hey, I forgot my password. OK, I'll reset the password. I didn't get the email. What the hell is going on? I'm just going to create a new account. And finally, the whole process from getting the app to actually start using it with email was 49 seconds. So I looked it up. The average use time in an app was 2.5 minutes. So if your users are spending almost half of that just trying to register, chances are they're going to drop off and not use the app. So we're actually, yeah, I think we're so few and it's pretty intimate. Yeah, let's do questions. Yeah, right now.
You're saying that people prefer to give the SMS rather than the
Yeah. Yeah. We're not, I mean, we're not using the phone number. Yeah. So the question is, do people prefer giving out the SMS, the phone number to get the SMS rather than the email? So we've seen that yes, people are. I mean, frankly, it's it's in US, in Canada, in Western Europe, people are like, hey, really SMS, phone numbers? But we've seen in growing markets, LATAM, in Asia, people are have been using phone numbers as identities for a while now. So for them, it totally makes sense. I mean, we're not sending any spam on phone numbers. We're not getting anything extra. I mean, you can ask for the email, but literally, it's up to you. So they kept Facebook. They removed email. They put in digits. First of all, they've seen that the signups went down to 23 seconds with digits. You get the SMS, you put in the code, you're up and running. And more importantly is that their support queue dropped by 55%. So people, and that's registration, not the whole app, just, hey, I can't log in, there's something wrong with my account. So that was huge for them. Quick example in Swift. If you haven't seen Swift before, don't panic, it's actually pretty straightforward. You can hook up, you get a button, you hook up the digits flow, and if you don't want to, we provide the default one. So this is 95% of the code that you need to get digits running. So everything, the whole flow, all the screens are abstracted for you. On success, you get a session object, so that contains that stable ID that I was talking about, the phone number, the verified or unverified email, and the OAuth token. So if on iOS, that's it. If you're on the web where you have client-side and maybe Node running on the back end, you pass the OAuth token, you craft a request with some headers, and then you hit our API and you get that information back. So the ID, the email, and so forth. Yes, you can. So you can change colors, you can change fonts, you can add your own logo. So you can really make the UI respect your design language of the app. I guess someone's going to ask if there's an API. There's no API as of today. So you can customize the UI quite a bit. There's also a cool feature called Friend Finder. So if you have ever used WhatsApp, you log in and it automatically shows, hey, your friend, Bob is already using WhatsApp. I'm going to add him as a friend. So you can replicate this using this. In other words, you can prompt the user to, hey, do you want to upload your address book contacts to digits? The user says yes, excellent. And then you can find basically one-way and two-way connections. In other words, I have Charles in my address book. Charles, I've already used the app. You as a developer you can get the ID of Charles. And at that point, if you're using, let's say, I don't know, Couchbase, you can look up that, hey, Charles is ID 123. His name is Charles. I'll display it as a friend of the user. So at this point, depending on what app you're building, hey, you can maybe send an in-app message or in-app gift or something. So both cross-platform, so iOS and Android, doesn't matter what kind of phone your friend is using. And like I said, it's one-way and two-way connection. So in other words, if I don't have Charles in my contact list, but Charles has me in his, I'll see him regardless. Well, I won't see him, but I'll see the digits ID, and if you can make a lookup, you can show that someone that is not in your contact list is already using the app. So once again, once you get the session object, you just make a call to the start context upload that will prompt the user, hey, are you okay with this app uploading your address book? User says yes. And then we make a call to look up contacts. At that point, just returns the matches. The matches are returned as digits IDs, so you can't really do much with digits IDs, but if you are storing any metadata about the users, now you can make a lookup, say in Dynamo, at that point pull in the phone number or your name or whatever. There's a dashboard for end users, so digits.com, you can go to it, log in, you'll get the SMS, log into the website. At that point, you can enable two-factor auth, so anytime you log in into an app that enables digits, you'll have an extra prompt for a PIN that you can put in. And users, of course, can change their phone numbers and emails, and you as a developer get callbacks on that when that happens. So you can update your database if the user updates the information. So I was thinking of doing a demo, and I'll do it, but it's going to be weird because I'll be standing here. So what I'm going to do is create a new project in Swift. Vanilla, nothing special. And what I want to show you how digits and fabric works. So can you see this? So we do things slightly differently. Usually vendors provide the SDK via GitHub or their website. We have a separate app for iOS. This is it. On Android, we integrate right into IDE. So if you're using Android Studio or IntelliJ, you'll get a plugin within the app. This has always been a controversial decision. Some people hate it. Some people love it. The app essentially helps with onboarding, so registering your app on the Fabric dashboard. Helps with just getting started with some snippets. And if you're using Crashlytics, which is another kit within Fabric that does crash reporting, that uploads the DSIMs on iOS. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select digits. This is a run script that needs to run when the app is built. And what this does is just calls our binary and registers the app on our dashboard. So now I just need to drag the frameworks. Done. And then the app will ask me if I want to put, if I want to start digits. So I'm just going to copy paste the code right here, right there. So I'm just going to click next, run. So now Xcode is going to run that build script that will register my app on the dashboard. So if you go to fabric.io, you'll have access to this app. So in this case, I'm only adding the digits kit, but of course, if you can mix and match and add other kits. So the app is not doing anything in this moment, so I'll just click done. I'll close this. And then there's a couple of snippets that I can use right from the app. So I'll just click get code, copy this, copy this, and I'm done. So this is all that it takes to get digits into your app. So the process is identical on Android, and well, slightly different on the web because you need a server to verify the credentials. So let's see, can I do this? Right, so this is the default UI. I mean, it's pretty bare bone. Like I said, you can change the colors, you can change the fonts, you can add your own logo. But this is the UI that we present. So if I just going to grab my phone. So I just realized this is being recorded, and I probably made a huge mistake doing this. But whoops. OK, there we go. So now I'll get an SMS. If the SMS doesn't arrive within a minute, I can click on a button that's going to appear here, and I'll get a call. In this case, the SMS came through. Excellent. So I'll just put 13. And that's it. We're logged in. So this is the ID that I was talking about. So this is my ID across all apps that use digits. So if you can imagine a scenario where you have multiple apps. In that case, you can unify your user base across multiple apps because the IDs are the same.
If somebody is using that, for example, can you impersonate you?
Well, you can't really do anything. You can't authenticate using the user ID. I mean, it's always done via the SMS. So that's why, I don't care that my ID is here right now. So all the docs are on docs.fabric.io. If you want to just take a look, see how it works, cannonballapp.io, that links to GitHub repos for iOS, Android, and the web. So the web example that's actually powering the website is JavaScript on the client side and Node.js on the back end. That's also available on GitHub. That is it. Happy to answer any questions, or we can go drink beer. Yes?
Was there any change in the drop-off rate? Like comparing phone number identification versus email sign-up process from the cases that you provided?
So the question is there any change, a drop-off between digits and email?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've seen globally across all markets an 85% conversion rate. For emails, the stat that I got is around 65%. So, I mean, besides that, yeah. Like I said, honestly, it's a harder sell in US because like people will say, hey, SMS, it's iMessage and Facebook Messenger. But I mean, if your app is targeting growth markets, EMEA, LATAM, APAC, a lot of people there really see their phone numbers as their way to identity. So a lot of apps there using, let's say like Twilio or something, they already used phone numbers as a way to identify users. Yes?
Are you specifying the orientation based on geolocation as well?
The language of the
The regional geolocation. Physical geolocation.
So the question is, what are we doing with geolocation? You as a developer can set the language of the UI, and then the SMS will read the locale of the device. So let's say you're in Quebec, you're in Canada. Canada uses English, but Quebec uses French. So if you have your phone set to French, you'll get the SMS in French. So yeah, yes.
Have you seen any apps that offer different login options based on region? So if I'm coming from China, I have this login option, but if I'm in the US, I have a completely different login option.
So the question is, did I see any apps that offer different logins based where they are? I have not. So we've added digits to some of our apps, Periscope and Vine, but that's across the board, so it doesn't matter where you are. No, but that's a cool idea. Yeah. Anything else? Yes.
So you have to enter your phone number.
Yeah.
And I guess that's coming from the operating system. Are you, from a security perspective, why can't you do away with that? And is there any chance that in the future people will just say, use my phone?
So on Android, if you set an extra permission, we can read the phone automatically. On iOS, we cannot.
As far as you know, it's going to stay that way.
Yeah. But I mean, that's Apple, unfortunately. So, yeah. And when people, some people have questions. Okay, well, when I submit my app, how does Apple or Google going to test it? I mean, they have they're not going to put their phone numbers. So we recommend just providing a Google Voice number. We haven't seen any problems with that.
My other question is, a lot of these kinds of SMS-based systems don't work with Google Voice numbers. So
Yeah, it works.
does.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be showing up in a mobile
Nope.
carrier system.
Nope. I use Google Voice to test internally. Just because I get an email and I can copy paste instead of just putting that in. Yeah. Yes.
So if I'm using several login systems, let's say Facebook, email, and then digits,
Yeah.
what issues should I be aware of that I'll run into?
Well, I mean, so the question is, if I'm using digits, if I'm using email, Facebook, I don't know, something else. So I recently, personally, I wrote an app where I was using AWS Cognito. So Cognito is kind of like OAuth from Amazon. So that way, let's say I log in using Twitter, I get a token secret. I push that to Cognito. Cognito creates an identity for that user. The next time someone logs in using digits, I saved my Twitter OAuth token somewhere. So I get 2 pairs now. I send them up to Cognito, and at that point, Cognito recognizes, oh, well, I already seen this token. This is user A. Oh, but he's also using a new token. This is probably still user A. So now that user identity is going to have 2 linked logins. So that's one way to approach it if you're using something from Amazon Stack. But as long as you're sort of, now with the provide emails, you can sort of base that as the common denominator for all the apps. All right, well, thanks, guys.